Welcome to another instalment of the Carp Fix Session Films, and you're joining me at Embryo Angling's Pumphouse Lake in Peterborough. It's roughly 7 acres in size, roughly 200 carp inside, with 20 of which go over 30 pounds. Now, that's probably a little bit out of date. There's probably a few more than that these days, and it's the first time that I've ever set foot on the venue. Never seen it before, never watched any videos on it before. I was just told that if you get here on a Monday, you have to arrive before 8 if you want to be involved in the draw for swims. So we've got here at 7 o'clock this morning. We've had a quick sort of once round, look about, try and sort of get your bearings as such, and no one's turned up, so there's no rush and draw for swims. And at this point so far, I've seen, this is swim 3. In front of swim 2, I saw one just swim past the edge of the swim. Yeah, it didn't look like it was in the feeding mood. Just looked, I don't know, it looked lost if I'm being honest. But I did see one jump out here a little while ago, sort of very close in, not where you'd expect to find them. You know, you look at the lake, it's sort of a telephone shape, sort of narrow bit in the middle with two sort of thicker bits at the end, and they look like the natural sort of holding areas. But yeah, I haven't seen anything in what I would call the likely looking areas, and the only activity has been here. For the moment, I'm not going to rush. You know, I'm not under pressure, someone else is looking for a peg or whatnot, and location is always the most important thing, so just going to take my time. I think as the sun comes round, gets on the water, there's a good chance that a few of them might rise up high and you might be able to see them a bit better, but for now, we'll stand here and we'll see what happens. Right then, don't really know what to do for best, but because I've seen that fish jump there, I think the opening line of attack is just to underarm, cut the pop-ups out, maybe a pouch for the 10 millers, pouch for pellets over the top, and just have some rods in the water while I sort of assess the situation. I'm not saying I'm going to be here for the night, I'm not saying that's me for the session, but yeah, whilst I'm here, whilst I've seen something, I think it's probably best to have rods in the water. We're in a fairly central sort of peg, so you can see a lot of the lake, and if I see activity elsewhere, I haven't really invested a lot of time getting the rods out, and I'll be more inclined to move. So yeah, let's do that. Now normally, if I was casting to sort of unknown ground towards sort of showing fish, I would fish with a naked chod rig or some form of helicopter rig, just to sort of aid the chances of getting presentation. But because I'm in a bit of a rush, the morning period is drifting away, and I've already got combi multi-rigs on my rod from my last session, so I'm going to chance that and hope that I get a drop. Doesn't look too weedy, like looking around the edges, there doesn't appear to be a lot of weed, or any weed really, so I'm thinking it's probably clear, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Now, although I'm in this swim and I've got a rod out, underarm to where a fish has shown, I'm really not feeling it. Doesn't feel like the fish will hold here, doesn't feel like there's a lot of fish here, and with the wind pushing into that far corner opposite, it really feels like I'm in the wrong place. Right then, well that didn't take very long at all. We've had the rods out maybe an hour, and one has shown in the most obvious swim near the pump house along the margin to the left of it. I've got Ash to run a bucket round there just in case someone was going to beat us to it, but yeah, got a bucket over there. Wind is hammering in that corner. It's meant to stay blowing in that direction for the next couple of days, wind and rain, and I do think that it's the most obvious swim, and now that we've seen fish in that part of the lake with the conditions forecast, I think it's the right move. Right then, so the few casts across to the far margin where I saw that fish show, and it's actually surprisingly deep, quite tight. Definitely feels like 5, 6, 7 foot, something like that. No, probably like 6, 7 foot, I'd say, which should surprise me a little bit. As you come to the right of the life buoy, there's quite a bit of rubble on the bottom. It feels like bricks or coarse, really coarse gravel, and that probably would make sense being close to that old pumping station that's out there. But left of the life buoy, it's more of a thud. It's a muddy sort of clay bottom, feels relatively clear. Presentation wise, spot wise, all screams carp, you know, a little bit of structure, something for them to hang round, nice bit of bottom, tight to a far margin, all of that's good. The biggest concern I've got is these ducks. They're literally, as the 4-ounce lead is landing, they're like flapping across the surface towards it, thinking they're going to eat something. And if they're doing that for a 4-ounce lead, I can only imagine what they're going to be like for bait. So I think the opening line of attack is just to put the rigs over there. And or what I'll probably do is I'll put the marker float up once, I'll cast it across the far bank, put it up, go round, get a look at it from the far bank so I know where I'm going to be baiting later, but then cast single hook baits across there for the afternoon, and then once the light starts to go, maybe, or when the birds disappear, introduce a bit of bait then, because that's got disaster written all over it. So yeah, let's get the marker float up, take a stroll around, have a little look at it, get it in the old, maybe even take a picture of it with the phone so I can remember exactly where it was, and then we'll get the rods out. Well, once you're around here, you realise how good it really, really looks. You know, the wind is coming down the entire length of the lake, smashing into one of the biggest features on the lake. It just screams fish. I'm not convinced they're all here. It feels too quiet. Do you know what I mean? One single show with 200 carp. It's not really a lot to work with, but I don't know. To me, that's a carp magnet. This is a no fishing bank. The wind's hacking in. They're all real big positives. So yeah, let's roll the dice here, and we'll see what happens. Well, that couldn't have gone any better, really. One cast of each rod onto the clip to the far bank, and in between doing that, one showed. It was on the same line, but fish just a little bit short of where the rigs have landed. But again, another confirmation that there's fish in the area. You know, we came here on the strength of seeing one from over there against that bank, and then to see one once you're around here, that's really good. But I did say that I'm not going to put any bait out, but I just don't want to sit here all day with single hook baits out. I do want to get some bait out, but I think as Ash is here, I can leave Ash behind the rods while I run round the other side and put some pellet out. I think pellet's not very bright, doesn't stand out too much, but at the same time, I think it's a risk. It's definitely a risk with birds, but I want to get some bait in the water. We'll see how we get on.
Fish on.
Stop it. Well, that bodes very, very well indeed. Saw the fish, got the rods out, saw another fish, got some bait out. Hour or two later, it's away. So that is a really, really good sign so early in the session. As it it was trying to get behind that old pump house, and obviously I'm fishing further than that to the far bank, so it was a little bit touch and go. I had to turn it, but yeah, it feels like half decent fish. No pressure.
Oh, there it is. Oh, nice. It is a linear. Go. Yes. Yes. That is good. That is good.
That takes the pressure off, doesn't it? Early in the old session. Oh, I see. Twig fish on that one. Right, Ash has got me all fired up. He was talking about when he was here with Luke Valerie that when the fish started to come, they really started to come, that you started to get double takes and all sorts. And with these conditions and such an early bite, it's looking good. God, there's something about that one bothering me. Tired little boy I was. Oh no! It's 1912. 1912. Oh. Well, that is what you call a great start. You know, you're always anxious when you go to a new lake. You don't know the spots. You don't know if you're in the right area. But single sighting from first thing this morning zoned me in on the right spot. And a few casts with leading rods, make sure it's all good. Got the rods out with not too much disturbance, little bit of bait, and hour and a half or so later, this one's came. And yeah, I'm feeling like that. It's just like G'd me right up. I'm buzzing now because now I know I'm in the right spot, and I think there's a really, really good chance of a couple more just yet.